I just love a good time travel movie like Back to the Future or the popular series over here in Britain, Doctor Who. Right? The drama and suspense, the mind-bending multiverse jargon of the space-time continuum to befuddle the masses and keep the boffins chuckling in their mint-flavoured tea. And I know this is science fiction, but something always leaves me more befuddled than most people. Like, if you had the power to travel through time, why wouldn't you use that rewind button every time something did not go your way? This is why it seems to me science fiction actually follows science fact, because in the real world we cannot really control time. We can't push the rewind button or slow things down. Time just goes on ticking. So whenever I hear the words time management, I chuckle in my tea, because I know it is not possible, not even in the movies. In the movies, the heroes are always about to run out of time, and entrepreneurs get caught in this trap too. They're balancing back and forth between their tech gadgets and answering questions and fielding calls, reading emails, and they think they're the master of productivity, when the fact is that they're master of distraction. I mean, I love kind of teaching this, because I see a huge difference in my clients once they change those multitasking habits. I feel like the words productive and multitasking should not really appear in the same sentence. I mean, in fact, researching shows that switching tasks like this leads to time losses of up to 40%. You can hire all the consultants you want to find out where you're getting your time losses, but 40% of them in your life are right here in the multitasking. Just to put that in perspective, think about what people could do with that extra 15 to 20 hours or whatever a week if they could just regain their time that they're using up being a serial multitasker. I mean, that's what I call it. They can beat that habit and regain so much more time. I thought I could go over maybe some of my favorite tips, my favorite productivity tips, and help you break that multitasking habit and really get down to producing full time. So an important thing I think for people to remember that most people don't realize is, because I love the science of the brain, and to know that the human brain is capable of staying intently focused on a single task for up to 2 hours at a time. I mean, imagine if you could take advantage of those 2-hour chunks of time, then you can produce at peak performance. And every time you allow a phone call or email or any kind of outside interference, you drift off into social media. Anytime you allow anything like that to impose on your time, your brain can take up to 15 minutes to refocus. Okay, you grab 3 or 4 or 15-minute segments out of that 2 chunk, and wow, that really, it really just nails your productivity. It puts the nail on the coffin to your productivity. I say it's like that, the stop and go technique, like taking your foot off the accelerator and putting your foot back on, taking your foot back off and doing that. You waste a lot of gas. You're never going to get up to full speed, and it takes a lot longer to get to your destination. A 2-hour trip turns into a 3-hour trip, but a 30-year time, over 30 years, I mean, you can imagine how much time is wasted. So, I tell people to definitely chunk their time, to assign different tasks to different day parts, and try to stay as consistent with those as possible. For example, if you make sales calls, say 3 times a week, to try and put that in your calendar in the same time every day, every week, chunk your tasks into categories and then place those categories on your calendar, and then set a timer. Set a timer to those tasks and shut out all different distractions, all the other distractions and so you can allow that 2-hour chunk of time without interruptions and distractions. I know it's easier said than done, but you can break the habit and you can start allowing your brain to focus. It's actually going to make your brain more alert and ready to do the job. So what I've done in working with some entrepreneurs is I'm convinced that they would have a maximum of, say, 3 to 5 tasks at play at any given time. So this means you can take the other ones, and you can literally put them to the side. You don't need to address them like right now, and you can then zero in on those 3 to 5 tasks on a typical day, and you can nail them. You can get those tasks done, and then move on to the next, 2 or 3 to 5 tasks. So when you do that, you'll find that you'll knock down those tasks at least 2 to 3 times faster than if you're trying to run all of them in parallel at the same time. And I see it over and over again, the people I work with. So the other day, so I was listening to a psychiatrist, and he was talking about the brain function. And he was actually saying that if you write things down, he was speaking specifically about negative thinking in this instance, but he said if you write things down, like tasks and projects, if you actually write them down to get them out of your head, your brain can dissociate from them. So you don't feel like your brain is one big whopping mind map of stuff just constantly floating around. And I think this is great, because you put your tasks, you put some on the back burner, by actually writing them down, getting your ideas and your projects out of your head for a little while. It just takes the pressure off. And some of my clients will say, okay, their employees or their clients need them. And I'll just tell them, well, no, okay, they might need you to a certain extent, but nobody needs to be gotten back to within 3 minutes unless it's really and truly is an urgent situation. So you have to teach your employees what's urgent. I always say that we can teach people how to treat us. So if you teach your employees what's urgent and what is not, and empower your employees to be self-sustaining if you can, those are some really, really important things to remember for productivity. So in the real world, time travel may not be possible, but you can definitely suck more hours out of your day to be more productive.